So I have online with me Ben Rader, who's been a member of our congregation for many years and has served now in different capacities, and right now is serving on our chapter, on our parish board. And Ben, I was wondering if you could just share some of your insights as to what you get out of being a member of the cathedral, what it's meant to you, and what you would possibly want to share with people who might be thinking about visiting us or joining us.
Well, yeah, thanks, Father Kevin. It's an honor, I think, just to be included in this conversation, because All Saints has meant a lot to our family for a long time, and to kind of give a voice to what attracted us and keeps us there is a good task for me. I'd like to be able to convey. I know many other people, young families looking for a home in a church, and oftentimes it's about, like, there's oftentimes a sense that in order to be in a faith home, you need to find with kids, you need to find a place with a lot of children, a lot of young blood. But in actuality, our kids get plenty of socialization at school and in the community, and all of our friends. How we pack together in our day and age now is kind of like people that are around our age and that have kids around our kids' age. So they're getting lots of that. And what we weren't really getting is multi-generational experience.
Right.
And a faith community like All Saints is multi-generational, and you get a sense of the history of the place just by walking into it. We have parish members who've been members their entire life, that their family roots go back multiple generations into the church and the church history. You get a sense of the city's history by learning about All Saints and All Saints' community. The fact that we kind of have found a place and a home there gives another sense of context and belonging for our children to have a relationship with people from past generations and other walks of life, other parts of the city. So it was designed initially as a cathedral. It was really seen to kind of outreach into the whole city and serve the whole greater community. And that's one of the things we really like about All Saints in its formation right now. And it really does. It reflects a broad, diverse calling of the community, and a sense of belonging that our kids just don't get from play groups and from the school.
So I think one thing about All Saints is, I think as far as our worship life, it's sort of high ritual, high church. Do you think your kids respond to that, or is it what do you think they get out of the way we worship?
Yeah, that's a good question. My sense for I call it, you say a high ritual, high church. I call it a multi-sensory church experience, because there's the smells and the bells, and we're especially in the later service, and for us there's a pageantry to it. There's an order, of course, to the service, as anybody who's been brought up in any mainstream faith tradition knows. But there's a liturgical kind of flow for how the service is set up, and kids learn that. They learn when you're kneeling, they learn when they're standing, because you're doing different things at different times. It does kind of activate a different response in them. So our kids will be able to know there's a time of being contemplative, and there's a time of singing, there's a time of repeating and reframing, there's a time of listening and learning. So these are processes our kids learn all the time in school, or through life in general. So by having a multi-sensory liturgical worship, it gives both structure and variety, and that for me, kids are organized that way. Our kids are brought up in a Montessori classroom setting themselves, so they kind of learn to be able to be guided by loose structure, but also by routine of what other people are doing. And they've kind of learned to be, to some extent, self-directed too. So those are all things that kind of match well in a church community like ours.
Yeah. Well, great. Well, thank you. It's a pleasure having them there and having you part of our parish community. And we look forward to seeing more of them in the future and having them participate even more in the fuller life of the parish.
Well, thanks. Yeah, Kevin, it means a lot for us to be there, and it's been great watching them grow in that context.
All right. Well, thanks a lot.
You bet. Well, thanks. I appreciated our time together.
All right.